it came out of the press conference, the post-match one with Jurgen Klopp was asked, do you think the team needs to sort of reinvent itself? And he was like, well, yeah, that sounds all right to me and stuff. And the issue he's got is that's sort of what you try and do in the summer, and he had this summer where he was obviously very confident with sort of what he had and how he was going to play and stuff like that, and then mixture of injuries and more injuries and other things. It's not an ideal time to be talking about reinvention.
No.
6 games in, I would say.
Not at all. And I think that when you speak to most people about it, your mates, whoever you're watching a match with, there's so many things that you can't put your finger on at the moment. It's worrying.
Yeah.
Where do you start? And to use the word reinvent yourself, I know obviously he didn't say, he was asked it and he said yes, but you are looking at almost as a fan now, we've had so many great times under him, and only a few months ago we were so close to immortality almost. It's so difficult to see that we've gone from that, and can I put my finger on it? Can you put your finger on it, Rob? Because I don't think anyone can, and the worry is that can Jurgen put his finger on it? We trust him. We know obviously he's got the tools and he's got the nous to get us out of this. But when there's so many things wrong, so many players who are below par, so many players playing at 5 out of 10 maximum, where for the last 3 seasons they've been at 8 out of 10. It's just really worrying that we are looking at the word reinventing 6 games into a season when there are big changes needed, but I don't know what they are, and whether it's a change in mentality. We've been lauded as these mentality monsters for so long, and now all of a sudden we look fragile. There was a couple of comments came out last night about when we were great, and that's the season last season, we'd back each other up. So if someone lost the ball, someone would be there to cover you, your mate would have your back. It's almost like we don't feel like our mates have got our back at the moment, and that's worrying. I think Robertson's made a couple of comments like that. So reinventing ourselves, only three weeks into a season isn't great, but we do need to have a look at and see where we're going from here.
Where we go from here?
I'm trying to sort of trawl through my memory bank of what happens in these situations, right? Try and see if there's precedent. I've got a few decades to go call on, and it seems silly to sort of talk about the wilderness 30 years for any info. So I think back to when we were winning stuff regularly, and I think back over the last 4 years when we've been a really, really good team. And I'm trying to keep the phrase good teams don't suddenly become shite to the forefront of my mind. If you're looking wider British football, shall we say, the only examples really of that are maybe Chelsea, who had a habit of winning leagues and then going utterly shite for no apparent reason. I think good teams can go shite when they lose key individuals, like after the 14 season, where we're very close to winning the league, we lose Suarez, we effectively lose Sturridge, we lose Alonso, don't we, at the end of that? Yeah. No, not sorry. I'm thinking. I'm thinking 09 and 14. Yeah. There's those kind of parallels. We dropped off cliffs after those seasons with good Liverpool teams, but there were clear reasons in personnel lost. This year, we've opened with a few injuries, but interestingly, the sort of core 11 you'd pick have mainly been available, so it doesn't even feel like that's enough of an excuse. I did think last night there was possibly a case of a game too far for one or two of them, and injuries might have enabled rotation. I didn't want Fabinho to start, I didn't want Salah to start, but I can kind of see I didn't want Trent to start. He actually could probably pick 5 actually. I thought, don't start, and Wolves is more important. And he did start them, and maybe because he doesn't have any choice.
I think that it's obviously, you can't account for why everyone's dropped off, because it does feel like every single player's dropped off a level, there's less intensity. I think, you've got to have a little bit of perspective. I think it is probably a little more simple than we think. Like, you think about Thiago, for example. Look at the stats when he plays. We don't lose games. Generally, we don't lose when he plays.
Well, look at his stats when he came on. He won more balls than the rest of the midfield combined.
Exactly. And I think, go back to the season when we lost Van Dijk and everyone was like, we've got no defence, so that's the reason why we're losing games. It wasn't because we had no defence that we were losing games. It's because we put Fabinho centre half and we had no midfield. So we had no midfield, we couldn't control the game, and all of a sudden everything was coming at us. So we had the front three up front running, and we looked dangerous when we went forward, but straight away with 2 passes you just cut in, you cut back. I think that was the exact same last night. I love Harvey Elliott. I think he's a brilliant player. I think he's going to be a brilliant player for us. I just don't think he was built for that night last night. It wasn't for him. He was great on the ball, but then games are about how good you are off the ball. So I do think it's probably going to be a little more. I don't think it's going to take us ages and ages to get back to what we need to be. I do think it might be as simple as get Thiago back in, get a bit more solidity in the middle, and all of a sudden things might look to start a little bit more rosy.
Alright, the Reds, to enjoy the rest of this video as well as all of our premium content, just click on the join button below and join our YouTube membership. You'll get all of our exclusive content, including our match previews, our post-match reaction, our exclusive interviews, and all the transfer chat about who is coming in and out. So yeah, share the journey with us, supporting Liverpool from the heart of the city. We're home, we're away. Come and share it with us. Up the Reds.